What's up guys, it's Addison. So today I want to share with you some secrets, some professional secrets about software engineer nobody ever tells you. So what exactly does professional software engineer do every single day? So I'm a software engineering manager. I manage a team over 10 engineers, and today I want to share with you what does they do? What's the most important components in a professional software engineer's daily life? So I've seen this, there's a trend on internet, on YouTube about day of software engineer look like. But today I want to give you some real meat, which is about what exactly the software engineer's job matters and what the components of their work really matters. And if they do well in this components, they are a performing software engineer. Instead of just in the morning grab a coffee and have a lunch break, it seems they just never talk about the real points. What exactly is a good software engineer and what exactly is their work components? Okay, let's get straight into it. If you find this video useful, please subscribe to my channel and like it. Number one, collecting feature requirements from product manager. So as a software engineer, what I are doing every single day are basically two things. The first is developing new features, and the second one is maintenance, right? You keep the existing feature going. So now let's first talk about collecting feature requirements. So usually product manager are working with customers or salespeople or marketing people. They're collecting the kind of like second-hand user data, and they think about new features based on the customer's requirements. And sometimes they have some kind of unrealistic feature requirements, so they need to sit down with engineering manager, and the engineering manager have a group of engineers, and the engineering manager understand who can perform this job and who can do it good. So he will find the project leader or the tech lead in that team to talk with the product manager, make sure all these feature requirements are realistic, it's doable. So that's one important thing what software engineer does, which is make sure requirements are realistic and doable. Number two, after the requirements is in place, then the software engineer will need to have a feature scope, have a feature design, and have the feature scope down into different smaller tasks. We usually call it stories, and have the estimation of how much time each of the story will last, will cost. And once the estimation over there, it will aggregate all these efforts of the story and add it up to the features efforts. It probably take 2 months, probably take 1 month. So we usually use sprints to calculate how much time, to measure how much time we'll spend on this feature. Number three is working with software engineering managers to understand what is the priority of the feature. Most of the times, your team or the engineering team is overwhelmed because there are so many things to do, there are so many work to be done, and you can only prioritize a certain amount of work in next quarter or next sprint. So in this case, software engineer will work with engineering managers, provide the feature estimation, how much time it will take, and then prioritize the features based on the team's capacity. So that's another important job of a software engineer. And number four, software engineer need to do code reviews for team members. So for example, if you finish one component of a feature, it's probably 10,000 lines of code. You are trying to get it into the code base, right? So there's a review process. Usually it requires 2 to 3 peer engineers from the same team and take a look at the code, make sure logistic-wise there's no big flaw. And once that is done, it could be checked into the master branch. So code review is a big part of your daily life as a software engineer. And you will do daily stand-up too. It's basically reporting what you did yesterday, what you have done in the past week, right? Just sync up your status with your peers so everybody on the same page, especially people or engineers who is working on the same feature. communication is the key. So daily stand-up, you will participate in a lot of this kind of smaller sync-up meetings, not limited to daily stand-up only. Number 5, you will spend a lot of time on call. So that sounds scary because for some software engineers, that is the most hated part of their job is on call, because basically during on call you are 24/7 on call, you are 24/7 available. If there's anything wrong happens with the product and the customer trigger the PagerDuty, you will be on set. And there's a service level agreement of how long this issue should be triaged and addressed. So this is something every single software engineer needs to deal with. And you will need to have great communication skills with not only the customer, but the support people, because between you and the customer, there are multiple layers, like technical support, like a support, and some maintenance team, and eventually you, the software engineer. So you need to coordinate with the customer, the support people, to make sure they understand the fixes on the way and will be fixed in what time frame. Or you are not the one to handle this issue. You are trying to help them find the right software engineer to fix the problem. So communication is the key, and on-call is the daily thing every software engineer needs to deal with. Number 6. So another really important duty of software engineer is interview. So you not only need to be interviewed when you're trying to get into any company, but you also need to performing the duty of interviewing new candidates. It's a really important skill because it determines what kind of colleagues you are getting into your team, and in the future you are working with them. So the earlier you can establish interview standards, not only maybe in different companies you can incorporate different values from that company, but you have a strong standards of what kind of software engineer is good software engineer and what kind of software engineer is bad software engineer. It will be really helpful in your career, and you have a list of standards to help you filtering what the good candidate you are looking for. Is really helpful. For example, you have a list of algorithm questions you want to ask, a list of data structure questions you want to ask, a list of system design questions you ask. Polish them, right? Try it on a different candidate, see their reactions. You don't want to give them too hard kind of question, because in that case there's no differentiator. Nobody can answer your question. There's no points. You also don't want to give them the question which is too easy. It's all over the place. It's on LeetCode. It's on Google, on Glassdoor, whatever. That doesn't help either, because everybody can answer the question, which leads to no differentiator either. So you want some problem with medium wise, and can be extend to different kind of levels, different kind of follow-ups, so you can measure the candidate's technical capability. At the same time, you need to keep an eye on their communication skills, because at the end of the day, guys, everybody's human. We want to communicate and work together well. So try to test out their communication skills. Is also really important. I can have another video to talk about how to interview software engineer, but in this video, guys, as a software engineer, one of the most important skills is interview new candidates. Number 7, the software engineer does is mentoring. So after you interview new candidates and everybody agrees on the team, this candidate is good fit for the team, you guys will have to onboard the new member. And as an experienced software engineer, maybe you were in the team for 1 year or 2 years, you can mentor this new member. You need to help them onboarding, which is quite essential, because if you don't have systemized documentation, if you don't have existing videos about operation, about the maintenance, it will be really troublesome, because all the experience are mouth to mouth, word by word. If somebody just decide to leave the team, it will cause a big transition issue. Some services will go out of service and the rest of the team will have a hard time to figure it out. So learn how to mentoring, how to document different features, different operation procedures, different maintenance procedures. It's really critical for the long-term success of the team, of the company, or the manager. So guys, these are 7 things what professional software engineers do in their daily life. And if you gradually become good at this, you will become a great software engineer and your upside is unlimited. Hope you enjoyed today's video. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like the video, and leave your comments down below. If you have any questions, you want to see more contents, or what kind of content you want to see, just leave down there. Hope you guys have a great day, and thank you.